All good things come to an end. And this is the time when this conference ends. But I really wanted to take a few moments to thank all of the efforts that go into this. You would be surprised at the difficulty and the complexity of putting together a conference like this takes. It takes dozens of people. It takes hours and hours of time. Coordination is sometimes mind-melting, for sure. But we have people in the back here who have done a phenomenal job. We really want to say thank you to each of you. We had the staff that manned the registration desk. They did a phenomenal job. I want to say thank you to them too. But that then brings us to the broad shoulders of our executive director. I want to thank you, Char. You've done an amazing event once again.
You know, since we changed the moderators a little bit, Brian was going to moderate and I was going to introduce him, and unfortunately because we changed, I didn't have the chance to do that, and I know we're running out of time. All I can say is that I'm very appreciative of all the people, Brian, the board, all of you. So again, I don't want to go into a lot of detail right now or I'll choke up too. So, but I've got some final remarks, but before I do, some of you may not know that the GBA actually is the sponsor for the U.S. office of the World Business Angel Investment Forum, and so it's WBAF.org. And if you don't know anything about that organization, this is a G20 affiliated group, and some of the top investors in the world are looking to invest money in startups with a socially responsible mission or cause. We do a lot of events, a lot of funding events, a lot of pitch competitions, innovation showcases, things like that. And so on the 28th, the day before this conference, we hosted one. Actually, Dr. Ingrid Vistula-Feltes ran that. She's the I don't know if it's president. She's in charge of the U.S. office of the World Business Angel Investment Forum. And we had some tremendous startups and companies basically pitch, and so we'd like to show you the results of that. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Ingrid and let her share the results.
Welcome. This is Dr. Ingrid Vistula-Feltes, and it was a privilege to host the GBA Innovation Showcase, as well as the global fundraising stage organized in collaboration between GBA and the World Business Angel Investment Forum USA Country Office. Both events highlighted the important mission we have to support startups, scale-ups, and SMEs, and ease their access to finance. Both events highlighted the breadth of blockchain solutions that are aiming to solve real-world problems. Both events highlighted the tremendous creativity and the impact blockchain can have on the digital economy and to change our society as we embark towards transitioning to Web 3.0, and we aim to enhance digital trust in society as well as track ESG metrics. Please allow me to first share the winner and the runner-up of the Innovation Showcase, and then I will announce the winner and the runner-up of the global fundraising stage. For the Innovation Showcase, the winner was the company called Nick's Whistle, being represented by its founder, Shanmugavel Sankaran, during the event. Nick's Whistle is a platform that has been created to encourage employees everywhere to speak up about their opinions and feelings in the workplace and the way they're being treated. Most employees worldwide hesitate to speak up and fight for what they believe is right due to fear of retaliation. This platform is giving them a voice and is placing strong emphasis on privacy and anonymity. Our congratulations to Nick Whistle, and we're looking forward to collaborating with you throughout the year to amplify your important mission. The runner-up of the Innovation Showcase was Global Stockholm Foundation. Their motto is to empower all through digital transformation. The Stockholm Chama Network is a blockchain-based peer-to-peer DeFi microfinancing platform providing financial inclusion for the global banks and unbanked. The foundation's mission is to empower and provide affordable access to digital transformation tools that eliminate barriers to opportunities and transform people's livelihoods in underserved communities. We congratulate Global Stockholm Foundation for the important work they're doing globally and are also looking forward to collaborating throughout the year to amplify your mission. And now, please allow me to announce the winner of the global fundraising stage and the runner-up as well. The winner was Thrifty, represented during the event by co-founder Gordon Jones. Thrifty is a decentralized identity wallet system converting our lives, credentials, our assets into verifiable credentials that we can hold in our wallet for controlling and sharing as necessary. Thrifty leverages cryptography and blockchain and packages the solution in a user-friendly interface that is simple and efficient. Thrifty is a public benefit corporation and strongly believes that all people should own their own identity. The company's motto states it all. Thrifty invites you to self-sovereign your identity and strive to privacy. Congratulations to Thrifty, and we're looking forward to seeing you compete at the GFRS in Turkey in October 2022 on the global fundraising stage where you have more than 100 companies compete. And the runner-up of the GFRS, I would like to announce that it is Evenness, represented by its founder Eve Logunova-Parker. Evenness is a global provider of extended reality solutions for your interactive events, remote team collaboration, virtual learning, and upskilling. Evenness is platform agnostic, working with various selected platform providers to create an ideal, inclusive, and accessible environment. Evenness is also currently building its metaverse, and its mission is to enable organizations and people across the planet to establish human connections that work together no matter the distance or time zone. Congratulations as well, and we're looking forward to collaborating with you throughout the year. I would like to conclude, first of all, by thanking the GBA leadership, Gerard Taché, and also, of course, the organizing team, as well as the WDF leadership for making this happen, and most importantly, to all the companies that participated and to our audience. Thank you.
For those of you who don't know, Ingrid also leads our investor and startup group, and so she meets with startups all the time. She reviews their pitch deck, gives them advice, helps them get ready for pitching, and then actually makes connections with investors. So we're very committed to helping startups. I'd like to first of all thank Brock Pierce and Carla of Ying, Carla Ballard, for essentially the sponsorship. I'd like to actually thank all of our sponsors that made this possible. I'd like to thank our speakers. Were our speakers amazing? Amazing. And I'd like to thank you guys for being here, because you all are the glue. You are the magic that brings everybody together, right? And so I saw throughout the 2 days how you guys were connecting, and that's what really warms my heart. But I can't not thank Kathy. So Kathy, would you stand up for a sec? Go ahead, go ahead. No, she's not. Yeah, this event could not have happened without her hard work. I would like to take a minute and get some takeaways. So if you guys have a takeaway from this conference that you'd like to share, if you don't mind standing up, maybe coming over to Mike, but I'd like to just take a few moments and hear what your takeaways from this conference have been. Nobody's going home until somebody answers. Go ahead.
I think the biggest takeaway was trust and trustless systems, where we can all collaborate in a sense where we don't have to worry about that to make the fluidity of what we're doing that much easier.
Yeah, so you said the biggest takeaway was trust and trustless systems to really enhance the fluidity. Anybody else? Yeah.
The need for partnerships between private and government.
The need for partnerships between private and government. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh, I thought you had your hand up. Anybody else? Well, the lights are a little bright. Yes.
So first timer, collaboration, conversation, and for the better good.
She said, collaborate. What? Say it again.
Collaboration, conversation, and as the oath said yesterday, for good, for the good.
Collaboration, conversation, and partnership. Is that what you said? For the good. Yeah.
The oath.
The oath. That's right. The oath. Anybody else? All right. Well, I'm going to end with my takeaways. So where do we go from here? We learned a lot. We had a lot of great folks together. I would encourage, if you're not a GBA member, please join. We need you in our organization. We need good people that are problem solvers and want to make an impact. And if you are a member, please join the working groups and the chapters. So under association, go to working groups and chapters and join, become part of it. We are going to be launching our foundations course in probably in the next week or so. It'll be coming up whenever our tech guys say it's ready. It's basically ready. They just have to essentially turn it on. And Blockchain Foundation certification is free for all GBA members. So once you're logged in, you'll be able to go in there, take the course, take the exam, get a certificate, and post your credentials on LinkedIn, wherever you want to. We also have BMM training coming up. We have a course tomorrow and Sunday. We also will have our global leadership call. So for those of you who are GBA members, or actually anybody, at 9 a.m., 3 p.m., and 9 p.m., we do a call. We just basically share what's going on in all the different sort of segments of GBA. And then if you're interested in the BMM assessments, then by all means, please check that out. With regard to the BMM, you heard about how the BMM is being translated into Spanish. We also have a lot of work going on in the Middle East, so we're working with companies out there that are becoming licensed and credentials to offer BMM services. But with regard to Mexico, I want to make an announcement that the Fier Silmani Group and Dr. Yep, you're right there. Oh, there you are. Why don't you stand up for a second? So she's going to be working with Alejandro in Mexico, and they're going to be doing a hackathon on November 12th. So if you're interested in participating in that, talk to her. She's here, and she's also working with them to do a full translation in Spanish for all that information. We have events coming up. So I told you about the leadership calls. We have recurring events. If you go to the website under events to recurring, literally every week we have calls on land titling and healthcare and voting and all kinds of stuff. Our next conference is going to be in May. Kath, what's the date? It's May 25. It's on the postcards. If you go to that site today, right, we have pre-sale tickets available until Monday, right? If you're interested in sponsoring, please go to the sponsorship page. If you're interested in speaking, please go to the speakers page. When you go to the speakers page, you can volunteer to speak at an event, like one of the webinars that we do, at a conference, or on our podcast. We have a brand new podcast host. We call her Crypto Mom. She's awesome. But when you go to the volunteer to speak page, you can volunteer to speak. Only GBA members are allowed to speak at GBA events. So if you're not a member, please join. Let me just tell you about just two other administrative things, and I'll take my final takeaways. As you're leaving, we're going to be recycling these. It's good for the environment and also our wallets. So please put these in the bins on your way out. And again, if you took any photos, please tag those photos at GBA Global and hashtag GBA Events. Right? We're going to put that together in a big montage, and we'd love to see what you captured there. And then so here's my final takeaways, and I really want to echo the words of Scott Sternetto, right? So he had an opportunity to talk to us last night, the co-inventor of the internet, and he really talked about three things. He said, the hard news is this: most people spend 80% of their time doing what they know or what's easy, and they completely avoid the 20% of their time, the 20% of the work that is hard, right, or that they don't know. And so that's the first thing. He said, starting Monday, we should start working on the 20%, right, that we don't know, that is hard. We should, break those barriers. And recognize that the rest of the world is spending most of their time on the 80% as well, right? And then he talked about something called a superpower. So he asked about who's familiar with Marvel, the Marvel universe, and all the characters have a superpower. And he said the greatest superpower is empathy, and that when we have empathy for others, when we realize that they have gaps that we can fill, and we work together and collaboratively, there's no stopping what we can achieve. And so I would ask you to meditate on those remarks, right? Do what's hard, right? Realize that other people have those hard gaps too, and figure out how you can bring something to the table. Because if you can bring something to the table to fill those gaps for other people, and we all do that, we're going to blow things away. So those are my final thoughts, and thank you very much. I hope to see you at one of other GBA events and at our conference next year. Thank you.